My dear brothers and sisters, this morning we have the privilege of welcoming our Archbishop, our pastor, to come for visitation. And as he said at the beginning that this is his first time with us. For many of you, it's your first time to celebrate with him as well. Therefore, we can notice just a moment ago, we did not correspond to one another very well. Liturgically, when we have a solemn celebration, high-rank celebration, a priest, after receiving the blessing from the bishop presiding, he proclaimed the gospel. He proclaimed on behalf of the bishop. Therefore, at the end, instead of he kissing the gospel, he had to present the gospel he proclaimed to the bishop presiding, to venerate, to kiss the gospel. And with the book holding on his hand, he gave the blessing. During that moment, the entire congregation stand and receive the blessing. But because his first being with us, we learned. We learned how to correspond better next time. And that's why, instead of giving homily, the Archbishop asked me to share with you because he thinks he will do the next time. When he knows you better, he will. But since he took the office on December 11 of 2019, few of you, representatives from some congregations, have come visit him. But this is the first time he come here because, as the beginning he said, today is the World Day of Migrants and Refugees. The church has celebrated and bring this awareness to the whole world for 106 years already. More than a century, in the heart of the church, people on the move, people who are marginalized, people who are poor and had to leave the home country for surviving, have been in the heart of the church. Not until the world speak about globalization that people can come together borderless. But before then, century ago, the church has been thinking of people on the move who are you. But in the theology of migration, there are two classes of migration: white collar and blue collar. This is the secret I revealed to you. Most priests, when talk about migrants, they don't think about you, because for them, for many of ours, you are high-class migrant. You are the boss, supervisors, business owners. But they often think about those domestic migration, those who had to leave their home parish, their family, and go to the big city, even just go on the street to sell lottery, souvenirs, whatever you can encounter on the street. Why migrants have been classified? Because it is some unjust, some unfair. That just like the same sentiment in the first reading, the book of Ezekiel. People complain, God, this is unfair, this is unjust. And the Lord said what? This is your way of doing unjust. It is your way of doing unfair, not God. And the only way to reduce or stop injustice is to return to God. To return to God. And that's the very strong theme of the message of Pope Francis sent to the world today. 2 years ago, he invited the whole church, set up on pastoral plan on 4 key words, key verbs that can set the way for pastoral care. This is welcome, protect, promote, and integrate the migrants into the local church. Make them feel they are at home. Try to promote them. Don't let them feel left behind. Try to protect them. So at this stage, you see, those who are white-collar migrants, you have lawyers, you have money, you have consultants, you have anything you need to seek for counsel. But the poor people, they do not have that privilege. That's why the church asks the whole world, look at them, protect them. And this year, Pope Francis provides 6 pairs of words that he invites the whole church exercise. But those 6 pairs of verbs can be concluded or summarized in one action, one word. Be one with God. Be one with God. And that is what the second reading tells us. The letter sent to the Philippians asks the Christians take the attitude of that in Jesus Christ. Don't take any attitude from others, because continuing with the first reading, we were born innocent, holy, but we have the ability to be corrupted. What we see, what we learn, can be what we do. So if you see good things, you learn good things, you hear good things, you do good things. So take the attitude of God is to be one with God, at the same story that Jesus told the high priest about the 2 sons. You and I can look at these 2 sons and ask ourselves, whom is I? I be a good son or I be a bad son? I can be good or I can be bad. That is your choice. That is my choice. But Jesus asks us, be a good one. There is a very, very thin line of temptation that we can see in any one of us. We can say, yes, I will do it. But then other things occupy us. Other things occupy us. And we forget. And the most dangerous thing that occupies our thought is to think above others. Think I am more important than others. Pope Francis asks us, do not be like that. Because that is not the attitude of God. The attitude of God is very, very important for us to learn. Every single individual is unique before the eyes of God. And that is the color of our community. Very diversity from many corners of around the world, very diversity. Thus, it's very complex and sometimes very complicated. Because the people from the Philippines have very special needs. And the second largest community is Korean community, who have your own need. And then French-speaking community with about 200-300 people also have their own needs. And people from Indonesia, they want their own thing too. You see, if everybody come before God, imagine how can God satisfy us? How can God satisfy us? So we can pose a question to God. How can you please with us? Different language, different cultures, different backgrounds, different needs, different ages. God has a way to satisfy us. And that way is love. From His love, it prompts Him to do good things for us. As a good father, as a good mother, sometimes your children think that you are not good because you don't satisfy him or her. You experience that, those who have children. But your job is to look for the future of the kid, not the moment, the future. It is the same. God looks at our future. What can we achieve? What can we achieve? So even now, we are at the status of being away from God, thinking differently from God, don't want to be in the community of God's people. God sees it, but He invites us to return, to be one by paying attention to others. Now you can tell me, don't you pay attention that we are boring now? I will stop, but I tried my best to explain to you what it means for us to celebrate today. It is not a reception that come and go. It is a celebration that can deepening our being, so that we can be God's people for others. Many of you have heard about Cardinal Louis Joachim Tagle, who got, about 3 weeks ago, he got the positive results of coronavirus test. Now he finished 14 days in isolation. And you know what did he share? He shared with the Catholic Bishop Conference of the Philippines that during the time of isolation, I have learned and grown. He grew. The isolation, the virus could not decrease him, could not quiz him, but make him grow, make him stronger. And he explained, I think everybody, when you want to be real survival, you have to deepening into yourself to see, this is the word he put quote unquote, interconnectedness. Learn from the interconnectedness, which means see whatever happens, look inside so that we can learn. Isolation did not and could not isolate him, but opened his heart. And he said, I felt I can be as cardinal but harmful. He said that. Everybody thinks that the cardinal is holy, very intellectual. But he said, if I did not protect myself well in this isolation center, I will be harmful for others. So it's a very humble experience of the Cardinal that we want to learn. The same lesson that Jesus taught us from the cross. Be humble. Don't think that I am the best. Don't ever think. Don't ever think that my community is number one. Remember, God knows only number one. When you go to God, everybody is number one. But when you look at others, he and she and they are number one as well. So be humble to let others step forward. Be humble to let God step forward to lead us. If you and I can learn that well, we can be God's ambassadors. At your workplace, at your business office, at your encounter with people, be God's being for others. Be kind, be good, be God's love. And I think that is what the Archbishop wished for us. He wants to see the diversity that be united, be one in faith, regardless of languages and cultures. Take this place your home of faith. And we don't house ourselves within. We open our house so that everybody can be welcome. And for Pope Francis, welcoming is not just waiting for people to come, but to go see people and make them feel they are welcome. So I hope you can make the Archbishop feel welcome among us. His first language is Vietnamese, his second language is Italian and Latin, and third language is French. But he celebrates Mass in English because he wants everybody can be present. So I would like to invite you to stand and profess our faith, of which we promise to live in our life.